Hey, hey, hi Jennifer. How you doing?
I'm good, Sabrina. How are you?
Doing pretty good for a Thursday already.
Yes,
These,
already.
these days are just flying by. Well, I appreciate you being flexible and being able to do this. This is it's not like hard for you, being the digital marketing expert that you are.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Please introduce yourself, share your current career, and then tell us about your hobbies and interests outside of work.
Sure. I am Jennifer Bell. I am part of the programming committee with Music Memory Lane. I am a board member, and I am happy to be here. Requested and invited by Ms. Sabrina herself, and I come from a background in the performing arts, entertainment, choreography, fitness. And now I serve as a personal development coach with my own brands. One is called Shift and Thrive, where I help women to navigate change and transitions in life at a certain age and lifestyle strategies and how to just navigate that terrain of moving forward and you're into the next chapter. And I also have a program called Mindful Movement Integrations, which is a fusion of three different modalities that help with not only movement, but how to be in tune and aware of your body and assess how your body and your emotions are intertwined. And I provide those experiences in private events for corporations, for groups, for private parties to help women release and improve their function and all that good stuff with the body and fitness and wellness. And that's really what I do when I'm not taking care of my 95-year-old mother. I don't really have to take care of her. She's quite independent, but I do live with her, and I spend a lot of time making sure that she is still thriving as best as possible. And so that has required me to shift a lot in my life, and I also had some health events that took place over the past few years. So I'm navigating my health and just restarting my business and brand, and that's how I spend my time mostly is between work and some social time and with my mom. And I get out and dance whenever I can because that releases
Yeah.
stress, and I always have to dance somewhere somehow.
So I just want to ask you, your mom being 95 and still very independent, was she very physically active like you are? Like being well, I know she wasn't a Miss USA Fitness runner-up, but like, did she work out and stuff like when, in her earlier years?
And my mother was just always very active. She was not a fitness person or a dancer. She was in music. She was a chorus leader. She played the organ, piano, all that. So she's creative.
Uh-huh.
But my mother and father actually got into country line dancing when they were in their 60s.
Oh, how
And they did
cute.
country line dancing. I didn't know until after my father passed that it was actually his idea. And they did country line dancing and, going around the circle and all the do-si-do and all that.
Yeah.
They
Hmm.
did that for almost 20 years, starting in their 60s.
So
And
that was before boots on the ground, huh?
exactly, they would have boots on the ground way before it became the thing.
Right.
So,
That's they say. There's nothing new under the sun. I mean, some people say that. It's a
absolutely,
saying that
absolutely.
everything we're doing now. My grandmother used to say that too. She said everything you're doing now, we did that before.
Yes, and I think that's what has kept her upright and walking and still functioning. She used to garden. They
Mm,
had hobbies, so just staying active and physically active.
right.
Even now, she used to go to a multi-purpose senior facility and take classes, but now I put on a program and she exercises in her chair to this video series that she knows how to operate on YouTube.
Hmm.
Not she's a little slower now, but she does her best to stay active. So yeah, it's very encouraging. I'm very impressed, and I admire my mother, who's 95, for still trying to do something.
Yeah. That's a good story, good heartwarming story to share.
Yes, yes, keeps me happy to know that she's doing well.
Hmm. And so now, not I don't want to be too personal, but does she take high blood?
She's
Does
on
she?
some She is on some medications to manage her high blood pressure, and she also has rheumatoid arthritis, so she takes medication for that. She has
Mhm.
congestive heart failure, and she takes medication for that to keep the fluid down. She's on quite a bit of medication to manage some discomfort, but overall she's fine. But you asked specifically about the high blood pressure medication.
Well, yeah, that was the first one that came to mind. That one, it seems like that's like the most popular one, medication that I hear about, folks taking my father, then it seems like as the years go by, meds keep being added on. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I think it will also, as people age, the high blood pressure tends to rise a little bit. And so a lot of times it's just to manage it. It's not that they're necessarily elevated to a unsafe level, kind of typical for seniors for it to be around the 30s and 40s, um, as people age. So
okay.
yeah,
Just things that we got to start, preparing for and not taking for granted. We're not in
absolutely.
our 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s anymore.
Yes. So the sooner we start doing what we can to manage it, I'm on high blood pressure, and I've been on it. I've been on high blood pressure medication, actually for almost 10 years now.
Oh,
And
really?
that may surprise people. It surprised me too, but
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize the emotional stress I was going through when my father asked me to do his eulogy a year
Mm.
before he passed, and I think the entire year I was stressed. So,
Ah.
we never know how stress can manifest. And although I was rather fit and ate pretty well, I think the stress of just life elevated my blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do anything about it because I
Mm.
didn't know anything. And then when my doctor saw how high it was, I started tracking it. It was
Oh, wow.
dangerously high, and had no idea. That's just
Yeah,
something.
I need to start taking mine too. I need to start tracking mine.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because that way, if it fluctuates up or down, then you know that something else may be off based on your blood pressure level.
Mm-hmm.
I was sick a while ago with sepsis and didn't know it. And because I was checking my blood pressure, I knew something was wrong because it dropped so low, with other symptoms. But knowing that that wasn't my norm was an indication, as well. So I think it's just good for people to know.
Yeah, just make it a part of our, regular routine.
Yep, it's not that hard to do. Doesn't take a long time.
Well, let's go to the next question. Oh, well, you already talked about your role here with us on the board. And do you want to elaborate a little bit on that? Or as far as, things you would like to do in the future, any ideas?
Well, I think I'm here as someone who's had 40 plus, almost 50 plus years of experience in the arts, performing in theater and film and things like that. So, whatever way I can add any ideas or just support the young dancers that are participating in your flashback events and what you're doing for the seniors to brighten their day, whatever I can offer to suggest to enhance any of that, that's why I'm here. So, yeah, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
optimistic about what you're doing, and it's very important the way that you realize how important music is to the brain for brain health.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's what I was going to say also about your mom playing the organ and, being musical. That's, I'm going to look into that more, but, everyone says that it helps the brain, different parts of the brain.
Well, the thing about that is because I've had my aunt who had dementia and some other family members who had Alzheimer's, although my mother doesn't. What I have observed is that there are different synapses in the brain, and the that part of the brain that remembers music, as you may have already noticed, it comes to life if nothing else comes to the forefront of memory. My aunt didn't talk much when she was, she passed at age 97. I can't remember, but she passed at a late age as well, but with
Mm.
dementia. She didn't say much. She couldn't remember much. She couldn't function that well, but she
Mm.
could sing Amazing Grace,
Ah, wow.
you
Mm.
know. So it's
Amazing.
those little things you know, that matter because she could remember all those words, couldn't remember much else, but she was able to pull that out.
She like all the verses?
Oh yeah.
Really? All,
Yeah.
not just the first verse?
And a
Wow.
pretty little voice too, sounded like a little bird. I didn't even know she could sing. And
Ah.
yeah, yeah. So that was very refreshing to know that she still had that in her, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful, heartwarming story too.
Yeah, because what you're doing is important because when you play those old school songs from the 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, they may not remember the words, but it just takes them back, and that's just so important. Just not even for the sake of memory, but just to brighten their day. That
Yeah.
that
All
reminiscence.
is so interesting. So yeah, speaking of music and going back, can you think of one song or one concert or even a dance that, and I'm sure you got so many of them.
I have so many memories of music and dance, but I think the first thing I would think of, which may surprise you, was Nina Simone. My father
Mm,
used to play jazz albums, and he played Nina Simone quite a bit when we were younger. I was as young as 2 and 3 years old. I have a picture of me dancing with my sister, who's 5 years older, to Nina Simone. And one song was "I'm Going Back Home," and it starts off really slow, and then it
Hmm.
picks up, and it just I had no idea what she was saying when I was 2 and 3 years old.
Yeah.
But every time I heard that music, and that reminds me of my father, or reminds me of my family getting together on Friday evenings to play music. That was our entertainment. And
Yeah.
so I eventually choreographed to Nina Simone later on in life.
Oh,
And
wow.
I have a quick video of my father sitting in the front seat. I'm in the back, and I played a song, like a remix of one of her songs that he hadn't heard. And I have a video of him just bobbing in the car to this
Uh,
remix. So Nina Simone just takes me back and always makes me feel good. So that's one out of a couple of dozen memories.
that's so special because it involves your father, and that from like you were 2 or 3 years old too. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what music does.
Hmm.
You can hear a song on the radio and remember where you were when you first heard it, what boy you were with, or what party you went to, or music does that for me.
Hmm.
I'm sure it does it for others too. So yeah, good memories.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have quite a few different programming ideas that we want to execute that we will be, entrusting you to help us with. And some of them will be with youth that we recruit. And we're going to ramp that back up again, getting ready, like for the fall when students return back to school. And then also something for the holidays as well.
Good, good, good. A lot of good things coming up. What you're doing is really important, and I'm in a place of working on my business and brand, but when it comes to working with seniors, I think is very important. So
Mhm.
being a part of this is meaningful.
Well, speaking of your business, so what's the website? And tell us if you have anything, in particular coming up where we can, come see you or, anything online. But start with your website.
Sure, my website is jenniferbell.life.
Mm.
I'm rebranding a lot of things, so I
Hmm.
wanted to keep my name. So it's Jennifer, JENNIFER, Bell.life. And it has my offerings on there as a speaker. It shows my mindful movement information. It takes you to that website to see the different offerings I have. If anyone ever wants to book a special event for mindful movement integrations, we do shift and stretch, which is a combination of not just stretching, but being aware of your body and how shifting is symbolic emotionally as well as in your body. And I have
Hmm.
rhythm therapy, which is an emotional releasing type of action movement based, where we just have fun. We move, we dance, you get in touch with your body, and you release your
Oh,
stress.
I need to do that one. That one sounds like a lot of fun. Where now is it at a studio or
Well,
is it
this is
online?
what I'm offering as something that can be booked. So it can be an opener for a program, for a conference, for a company retreat,
Uh-huh.
participation activity. It can be presented in different ways. I can fuse the three different modalities together. So if anyone
Mhm.
is ever interested in having that a part of their event or meeting, then they can book me. Yeah, anyone can look up the information, mindfulmovementintegrations.com as well. But just go to jenniferbell.life and you'll see everything that I offer. I
Mhm.
offer some coaching, online coaching that people can book me for. But
Mhm.
yeah, so you'll
Oh,
find out.
sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will catch you on the rewind.